Welcome to What Gets Your Goat, episode 5. I am your host, Vincent Crowley. This show is my YouTube rage room. I have guests on to discuss the things in life that annoy us, and everyone that is a participant is able to express themselves the way they want, free to have their own opinions, and we don't have to all agree with each other, and that's the good thing. With that being said, if you are easily offended and you don't have a sense of humor, you will probably want to turn this off now because we plan on having a good time. This is not a place for the politically correct or those who need a safe space. So, that being said, we have our guest today, some metal music gentlemen from the YouTube community. First, we have Trevor from the Shred Beard channel. And we have Shane from Vulgar Display of Gaming. How are you gentlemen doing today?
What's going
Excellent,
on?
Vincent. Excellent. Thanks for having us.
Hell yeah. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I had posted, we were supposed to do this a month ago, and I got hit with the new plague or whatever the hell's going around. I went to Florida for a family
You had a
reunion.
you had a hit on you, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
seriously. That was like some fucking Sammy puppet level shit.
airport must have been dishing it out. They're like, hey, this motherfucker's just feeling too good. So um I've been off for a month. I haven't done anything basically. So it's good to finally do this. Um Appreciate you guys being on. Before we start, I wanted to mention Eddie from Realms of Metal, his new shop, Realms of Rock. He will be carrying
Yeah.
some What Gets Your Goat shirts. So check out his website. I will link that in the description. And before we start, let's have you two tell us a little bit about your channels. Start with you, Trevor.
I'm Trevor out here in Northern California. Been playing guitar for shit a long time. Got my first real guitar when I was 19 back there in 29, or excuse me, 1999. The Ibanez Iceman back there, and played it for a while, got pretty good, and then just had kids and stuff and stopped. And then, my dad actually started building guitars in his retirement from construction. I'm still in construction, semi-retired, somewhat retired. Anyhow, he created a YouTube channel actually. And I thought, well, that's pretty neat. He started building, somewhat functional guitars and now builds incredible guitars. And anyhow, I said, well, maybe I could start my own channel and see what people thought, and so far, so good. It's a little slow there to begin with, but once we start figuring things out, things have somewhat taken off, I suppose.
What about you, Shane?
Yeah. Well, what's going on, everybody? Shane here from Vulgar Display Gaming. As you can tell, I'm a heavy metal nerd. Everything from arcades to newer stuff I play games on. That's like the side thing. But I am really passionate about heavy metal, and I'm trying to uplift my local community once a month. I am fortunate to have people that are I got a buddy who's a videographer. I got my buddy who's an editor, Nathan, who helps me out. My buddy Genji works the cameras. Then my buddy Ty, he works our audio. So once a month we have live streams here from local bands from the LA scene. I interview bands and everything. And again, Vincent Crowley's new album is killer. Please check that out. Please pick that up. Anthology of
I agree. Absolutely agree.
Yes. Just had to plug that real quick. But yeah, everything from comics to horror movies to games on the side I live stream. You'll find it all with me, as well as tabletop gaming too, Warhammer and miniatures and all these little plastic people like fucking I little paint little miniatures and everything. I'm a hardcore heavy metal nerd, so that sums me up really well. But again, I'm fortunate to be a part of this community and meeting so many people like Vincent and Trevor over here. I got to meet recently. And I'm just here to help spread the word of metal. We're heavy metal. How do you say heralds and harbingers, spreading the fucking word. I don't know.
Well, it's good because my idea when I started this show, I was like, man, I getting to know so many people, and everybody's like either in the metal community, horror, or what have you. Um, they all express in their channels a different way, and I think that's so interesting and unique, and I like that. It's not just the same, slap on. Here it is. Everybody does the same thing. Everybody has their own little fucking niche, and I like that, the originality. So, um, with this, uh, as I said before, we have topics we bring up. We don't all have to agree, uh, have our opinions on each topic. And unlike everybody else in the world, we're not going to go, you're canceled because you don't agree with me.
Just mute us while we're talking.
Right.
Yeah, no dead air, Dave.
So while I was sick this past month, the shit I had to witness with the amount of TV I was watching was pretty insane. We had a attempted assassination of an ex-president. We had a elderly gentleman finally bow out of trying to be reelected, and a woman that was hated by everybody now becoming the salvation of everybody. So the first one that annoys, the lies the media and the government feeds us, and so many people fall for it. And before we touch on this, I personally, and you guys can say what you want, I'm not right or left. I like to say I take the best from both and try to incorporate it, which I think that should happen. That's why I am not for parties and such. I do think the media is a manipulating factor. People with money pay these people to puppeteer them, in my opinion. So, what do you guys think about all this stuff that we've been spoon fed? Let's start with the assassination attempt, because that has been like the biggest drama I've ever seen.
Well, me personally, I hate both parties. They're both shit.
Me too.
What one speaks louder than the other hides behind things, like good causes and everything, but they're one and the same. They're all run by corporations or run by billionaires. Me personally, it sucks that me being younger, it sucks that I see no future where even my girlfriend and me, we're like, fuck, we're gonna get married and everything. We're like, fuck, why even have kids? What is the point of having children? I'm sorry. Anybody who has kids out here, I'm not saying, fuck, you guys made a mistake. I'm just saying I don't see a future as if I were older when you're like, oh, we're having kids, you have that whole American, the American dream. To me, I don't see that anymore. I'm just like, God damn, we're spiraling. Can I vote for a meteor? That's what I want to vote for. Like,
Here you go. That's my
you know,
vote.
but it's just not to ramble on. It's just me being younger. I don't see the future. I don't see anything with all of this stuff. It sucks, that politics have gotten so heated where again we have an attempted assassination, but you can't say that Trump doesn't speak inflammatory remarks and he isn't inflaming this shit. Say what it's both sides. Once I'll say Trump has said some dumb shit where it's just like, God damn, dude. And then Biden doesn't know where the fuck he is, and that's why he had to bow out.
Right?
Like that motherfucker was just like lost in the fucking sauce. My grandparents in their 90s, and they're like, they're more coherent than him, and they're even saying like, what the fuck is
He's
this?
the crypt keeper, man. Yeah.
He was a cadaver. He was a corpse. They were like pulling the strings.
I believe you're right.
But just coming from my point of view of being younger, and I'm not even that old. I'm only 32. but I just don't see a legitimate path forward. I see the decline of our empire, say you know. So that's my take on it. Trevor, what's yours?
I mean, it's hard to disagree with you, Shane. And it is unfortunate that you feel that way, but I can't disagree with you, dude. I mean, we talked about it in person there when I met you and Crystal, and it's sad that that's how you feel for me. But I grew up in the 80s. I'm an 80s kid. And like, I just remember you were just for the president kind of, and you were just like for the country, and you didn't really give a shit what nobody cared. You didn't, like, I've talked to Paul about this too. Like, nobody cared. You didn't talk politics. You didn't talk about your religion. You didn't talk about how much money you made. Everyone just kind of had a way about it. And yeah, American dream stuff, man. Like, again, I'll clarify too. I'm both parties are fucked. They think they're both equally as fucked, like both of you said. I'm more of an independent vote person, not party, right? You know what I mean? The problem is there's just a lot of shitty people that want to be in politics now. It's not a lot of good people. But, my wife and I, it was that we wanted to buy a house. And we were lucky enough. We couldn't buy a house, though. You know how it is out here in California, Shane. We nearly got priced out of here. I'm a carpenter. She works in tech, but not as a techie. She's more on a print production side of it. You know what I mean? And so we're okay. But, we were able to get a condo, but I do worry for my children a lot. My daughter's 10. She just turned 10, and she's no dummy. There's that famous picture of Biden with that birthday cake. It's just, he looks like a wax figurine getting ready to melt, and he's hanging onto the table for dear life. I mean, she comes downstairs with a cap cut mane. And we don't talk politics in front of the kids. We keep that. It's almost nil around here. Especially in the environment we live up here near San Francisco, we try and, keep her neutral out here. Kids, they don't need any of the shit that we're having to deal with in their heads, right? But even my daughter at 10, hey, look at this. She goes, and her point wasn't look how bad this picture is. Her point was, who would even think that this is a good idea, right? And again, media, whoever thought that was a good idea to put that out, it's just, and both sides. I also think, okay, the Trump shit, him having an assassination.
Yeah, that's wrong, obviously.
On a former president sitting, that's fucked. Secret Service needs to pull their heads out of their ass. Whatever went on there. I mean, the fact that there was some goon that looked like me and you, Shane, with his visor on, he's going, hell, I saw that guy a half hour ago. And all the cops and Secret Service are going like, I don't know. I'm like, how is that even possible? So like, when you say you see the decline of the country, I mean, there's a bunch of examples even in that little event alone. You know what I mean? You look at the Secret Service like, oh man, these are the, there are elite of the elites, right? And it just kind of, I don't know. That was Shane, the whole thing disappointed me. Shane, it really does.
I think Shane, when he was saying about like Trump, honestly, I'm shocked that didn't happen a long time ago.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's not the matter of the assassination. It's what the media fed everybody. Like, I remember when it happened, I seen I forget who it was, but they were like, Trump falls off stage. And, like, not that there was an assassination attempt. And there has to be a point where, just like you see Joe Biden trying to sit down, and then, Fox News is saying, oh, he's trying to shit his pants. It's, instead of being like reporting the news, they have to go way beyond to make it more out of control and like freak people out and that assassination attempt. I mean, there's some JFK type conspiracy shit there for sure.
Fucking know it, bro.
And we won't get into that. That'll be a different thing, but it's like, it's just what the media is spewing out. That Kamala Harris, she was like considered the most unpopular vice president in history. And all of a sudden, she's the savior of everything. I don't know how that changed. And again, I'm not expecting, I don't think Donald Trump's going to fucking come in and with a cape and save everybody too. It's like, what the hell's going on? And you can tell the puppeteering that's going on here. And it's the media has controlled stuff for a long time, but I'm like you, Trevor. I was a teenager of the 80s. So I remember reporters asking everybody the hard questions, getting into all kinds of topics that was going to question everything because that got them the viewers, not like, oh, this is going to help me in my career. And this is, and we need that back. And they weren't perfect either, but compared to today, guys, it just fascinates me how if I say, you know what, Shane has black hair, and Trevor goes, I don't know. I'm like, no, man, he has black hair. He said he had black hair way back, and then Trevor goes, maybe he does have black hair, and then Trevor goes, yeah, Shane has black hair. All of a sudden, everybody's going to say Shane has black hair, and it's becoming like that.
The narrative gets switched that easily. It's like when it happened, the whole assassination attempt, I didn't even believe it at first. And I'm not a conspiracy person at all. I'm not even, I don't weave down those roads. I believe what I see with my eyes and hear with my ears. Genuinely, I'm a very observant person. I've been told that. I'm not trying to blow smoke up my ass, but even I got to land. I'm like, this isn't real. And that's how bad the media has gotten. That the fact that this story comes out and you're like, nah, that's fake or it's set up or, that is so sad,
And the thing is, too, it's not to, look, Trump is older, Biden's older. Biden is obviously, you could see more of a cognitive decline in him. But who's to say we've had disabled presidents. Franklin Roosevelt, he was disabled. That was hidden from the public.
That's true.
We've had presidents with disabilities. We've had presidents who've been assassinated. I think it was correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody watching this? It was Theodore Roosevelt who was like shot in the chest, and he finished like a speech and everything. I think it was him. Anyway, it was one of them. One president was badass. I think it was him. But
Teddy was a badass.
Yeah. The fact is, I don't know why. Well, okay, I will say this. Being a president isn't so much about policy anymore as it is about your personality. Like, you guys remember me, I've watched the video clips of Bill Clinton. What catapulted him in the race was when he was playing the saxophone on late night TV. He was but he was hitting the popularity thing. It doesn't matter what the fuck you say anymore. You just have to be popular. And the thing is that what you're saying, oh yeah, Kamala Harris was widely unpopular, and now she's just catapulting, raising hundreds of millions of dollars and all this stuff, looking as a savior of us all, is because we're portraying her that way. I've watched her speeches, I've watched rallies, I watch everything. It's more or less in my ear at work. Just it's something now. I hate it, but it's like, fuck it, let me listen to them, and it's all terrible. None of them can talk right. I think the decorum of how people talk in presidential speeches and government speeches, if you haven't noticed, even with our Congress and representatives and everything, we have fucking felons in there. You have human trafficking. What is it? The one Democrat, I forget his name.
Bob Menendez, Mr. Goldbar.
Yeah. He just got hit up for bribes. And then you have Matt Gaetz.
He tried to pin it on his wife too.
Yeah, and then you have Matt Gaetz getting caught up in human trafficking. You have people talking about the dumbest shit ever, when they speak. Luckily, Americans do not not luckily, it's actually terrible that we don't watch these smaller political offices and the people, the way they speak. If you watch C-SPAN, because that shit's on, you could literally go on C-SPAN and watch it. And some of these motherfuckers say the dumbest shit. They have posters behind them, and they're spouting off lies, and it's on
throwing
both
shoes at each other.
It's just dumb babble where you're like, what the fuck are you all talking about? And same with what's it called, the filibuster, where literally you could sit up there and read a fucking story for 20 hours. What is this? Why is this what we have come to as a society? This is
Well,
Like
that's what they
these
thought was a good idea a long time ago, to be a childish idiot in Babylon so you could block someone's fucking speech or legislation to go from going through, you know?
it's just terrible. But going back to like the thing that happened at Trump, it's fucking terrible. These people live in an echo chamber where I wish death upon no political party. We do not need political violence. If we are supposed to be the how do you say the upper echelon of what democracy should look like, but we're a democratic republic. We're not really a democracy, we're a republic. Um, we should be held to a higher standard, and it seems like we're not anymore. Things are getting
Well
too
said.
inflamed, and it's just shitty.
Yep.
It's just shitty.
I going to bring up since of this topic before we go to the next one. Because I had mentioned to Shane before the show, my wife and I we went to LA a couple months ago for vacation, and one thing I noticed that if you watch certain news stations, these California, LA's the utopia of everything. They're great. You watch Fox, it's Armageddon. People robbing you at gunpoint everywhere you go, and uh, my experience was, we had a good time. We went to more of the spots. We didn't go obviously to the hoods that you would expect, but the majority of the places we went, we didn't have an issue with anything. And yeah, there were homeless people in certain areas, a lot of them, but we have that in Ohio too. So it it's it just seems magnify the narrative to 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 make people afraid or weary about these things. And go ahead, Shane. Tell them about your situation with LA.
I I mean, I will say this. I'm in East LA, which is not I'm not in a prominent neighborhood anymore. I used to live down by the beach, but we had to move away from that. My family's down by there, but we moved in with pretty much my future in-laws. They were fortunate enough to have space for us, so that's where I'm at, and I got a cool studio, which I'm forever grateful for. But yes, there is a huge homeless problem here, but to the crime aspect, where if you pulled up the news, you're like, oh my God, LA is on fire. But it people don't realize how big LA is. There's over 10 million people just in LA County alone. And if there is a couple hundred crimes today, like a day, that's still a low number of crimes compared to what it has been statistically. Like if you were to pull up like hard statistics, crime has been gradually going down. But because the media, especially, plays into this narrative like, oh, LA's on fire because look at this shoplifting, all this murders are down. I'm supposed to live in a bad area, but I can walk around here at night, no problem. I have no problems with it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, up by you, I have even heard from a friend that lives in NorCal, Trevor. Do not leave shit in your car. There's a lot more break-ins when it comes
Leave
to
nothing in your car.
yes.
Don't leave an
Um,
empty bag of Wendy's in your car.
yeah.
Not that I eat Wendy's because that place
But
sucks, but
and I will say there are some areas that are bad, like this really good music venue I go to, 1720. It's like pretty much right by Skid Row, and I don't drive there anymore. I Uber down there. And we went to see a Candlemass show there, and then like literally right after the show, my buddy had his car there. Literally every car on the block got broken into. It was pretty bad because there's like literally people camped out by the music venue there, but now they got security and everything, and they watch everything, but still I don't drive down there. So there are those places, but that's with every city. Every there's
yeah,
every city in America has those, like, don't go fucking down that way,
you got to know where you're at, man. Be smart.
Yeah.
But I will say, as big as LA is, those areas I would say are fewer than they have been. There may be concentrated in more areas, but if you were to compare to what's being spouted on the news, it's not that bad.
Minimal.
It's
Mm.
You know, my wife and I, when I met you down there at Universal, you know, we went all the way to Carlsbad, and we were down there for about 9 days. Went from Carlsbad back to Glendale, went to Knott's Berry Farm, went, you know, Anaheim, all of it. Studio City. I didn't see a ton of homeless. You know, I even thought, being from up here, I thought, well, when I go down there, it's just like the news said, fear mongering. Oh man, it's going to be every overpass is going to be littered with homeless people. They're everywhere. And I mean, I drove the whole thing one day, dude, and I didn't see these large encampments. I see more encampments up by Sacramento.
Yes, I've been to Sacramento when I went to go to Aftershock, and that shit is bad up there. I'm like,
Sacramento's every overpass and off the sides of the freeways.
I'm like, how is this so fucking bad?
State capital. LA's better than Sacramento right now, and San Francisco's getting a little better. Oakland is a fucking war zone. I will say that right now. It's daily over there. Just everyone's got guns, and the cops are completely outgunned. They don't have a chance.
You know, and while we're going on homelessness, I'll add a new topic to this. Right. The government, California, has spent billions of dollars on trying to combat homelessness and everything. But what they do is they give it to these fucking organizations and everything. There's
special interest shit. Yeah.
There's no accountability towards it. I can start a like, oh, we're shoes for the homeless. We need $15 million to give them shoes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It does not cost that much to give them fucking shoes.
Right. Yeah. Literally, get the Payless for $15,000, and you can buy a whole city full of shoes.
The biggest problem with some of these people too, where it's like, if you like, I've seen things where they talk to them, or like I've personally talked to people where they're like, oh, what's the biggest thing when it comes to getting a job is you need an address. Yeah. If the government be like, look, we're gonna put you up in a more or less a permanent housing place for like, say, 2 years, as well as give you a PO box or something so you can have an address to get a job, that would be cheaper than what we spend on trying to combat homelessness, causing all this drug epidemic and all of this, or like even send people to rehabs that don't make you fucking play with horses. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Like that's a big thing too. Like all these designer rehab. I could go on and on about this shit, but I don't understand. We have the money, we have the capability of helping people, and like, because some people are truly fucked, especially like I was a Marine, and like, hey, I dealt with substance abuse. I got kicked out of the Marine Corps for substance abuse. I got help when I was in the Marine Corps. They gave me a program to transition out, you know. I did one deployment, fortunately never saw combat, but I was an infantry Marine, and that was completely different than other jobs in the Marine Corps, you know, where it's just like I was able to get some help with some of my problems, but there's so many homeless vets that never got help or saw combat, and it's just so fucked, and it's so hard for them. Where even I have buddies who went to Iraq, went to Afghanistan. What the fuck did they get out of it besides PTSD? You know,
right?
It's fucked. I feel like the government just, with every problem. Not I ramble, but we throw money at all this fucking shit.
Yeah.
To expect to get fixed instead of literally sitting down and talking. Hey, what do you need? What can we do to help you? Yeah. But we just throw money at the loudest person who says we can fix everything. Just give us the money.
Well, I guess you know what they're doing up here now, Shane, which, I mean, they've been doing it for years in San Francisco, is it's all money based. It's incentives now, you know, and years ago it was like they were giving the homeless $150 a month just because they lived on the streets of San Francisco. I got a bunch of buddies that are cops up here. And now this program they just introduced us, I think it just started this week, is they're going to pay you $100 a week to stay off drugs. And I'm like, well, what the
that does
okay,
that,
yeah,
but then $100 a week that will not even fucking feed you, and you're gonna spend that money on drugs.
That's all. I'm like, I will
not enough money for fucking
for 2 days and go buy drugs with that $100 is all I'm saying, right? So then, to even add to that, my buddy who's a detective in Redwood City, San Francisco, is only doing that. So they're offering you $100 to stay off to stay clean, right? On top of that, if you're homeless in general now in the city, you're gonna get $300 a month. Okay, just for here's your card. And
but what is that though? What is that?
It's the politics. They got a mayor up there right now. She's a local. They need someone from outside to come in and
I mean,
sweep it up.
we
You know what I
know
mean?
how expensive it is here.
Right, and you're
$300
just
a month
giving
is
all
still
the money away
fucking
to the
nothing.
people. Well, and
Yeah.
the other
You're
point
gonna
is
use
too,
that for drugs.
they're going to use it for drugs. Not only
You're
that,
not
the
like
other
if
thing
you're
is
not
all
gonna
this
give
money
them,
that you were even talking
yeah.
about, all that. Some people are just going to be homeless. I hate to say it. Some
Oh,
people
of course,
are like, I have a cousin. She lives up on the side of the river in Sacramento. She used to be a good mom. I don't know what happened with her. She's just like, and she's not a mental case. She's just like, I'd rather do this, and she's not, she's an addict. I'm not sure what she's on, but I've been an addict too. I had substance abuse with the pills and all that. So I get it, but
yeah.
I also wanted to have a house.
I mean, obviously, people who don't help themselves, you have to identify that. But it's like you need to at least everybody at least
$15 million
needs,
worth of Jordans isn't going to fix the problem.
but you get what I'm saying. It's billions of dollars, and like I don't understand if I'm homeless and you give me $300 a month, I already know that's not enough money to live off of. So I'm going to use that on drugs.
Yeah.
What? Like that's not even enough money to feed myself. Because if you haven't noticed, like food is fucking expensive, even fast food. Like there's still a little bit of the dollar menu here and there.
No, but out here,
if
you know why? That's that
yeah,
minimum wage increase.
but if you're supposed to eat 3 times a day, your minimum is going to be spent at least $20 to $30 a day to eat out here. Minimum.
Easily.
If you could tell me a cheaper way to eat, yes. But
in San Francisco too, or like downtown LA, you're not gonna find. There's no like cheap mom and pop place.
Without giving them a stable place to live and getting them into a facility to make sure they get fucking sober, they're gonna spend it on drugs. Probably, I would say 60% of the time they will. Maybe there's some that it does help them. That's great. Yeah. But for the most part, if there's no substantial help of like, hey, you need to get into a fucking facility, or you don't even have a place to fucking live, this money is null and void. There's no point for this.
Well, the whole money going to an individual, if it's homelessness, if you make some facilities to house these people, not give them areas to put tents and stuff, and if you want to give them food, you don't give them money. You make food and give it to them, know that they're getting it. And if you have programs to get them sober or clean, you make sure they go to these things. Just giving people money, it's not going to do anything. And the problem is too, I mean, let's face it, you are letting a lot of people in this country in illegally, and you're giving them way more stuff than people that are homeless that are been here and Americans, and quite a few are veterans or ex-military people. That's pathetic. I was up in Maine. They are literally buying out tons of hotels for these illegal aliens while other people are all homeless on it. I have no problem with people coming to this country to better themselves and get a life going and stuff. But when you just let random chaos happen and like let them flow in, you just throw money at them, there's going to be a problem. And you need to fix the problems you already have in the country before going to that next level. And yeah, we could have a 10-hour conversation.
We sure could. I know.
No,
I know.
I ain't going on. We'll just finish it off on this. The government takes a shit perspective when it comes to this. We just throw money at things. There's no supervision and oversight when it comes to these things. I love. I don't know if you guys ever watched John Oliver's Last Week Tonight. He does pretty good reporting on funny. Stuff. He's funny. He did one thing on. I will say on. What is it? Rehab facilities, and like how a lot of them are fucking scams. Yeah. And they're fucked. And it's just like because they get government grants and they could do whatever the fuck they want with that money. Well, and that's with everything. Like you were saying, the illegal alien thing. It's like, look, our immigration system needs to get fixed. 100%. It's fucking shit. The fact is, we have people dying to get here still. As sad as that is, and like fuck, there's so many people coming over here, we should at least take that into perspective. Like, fuck, I guess we're doing something right if people want to die to try to come here. But we need to. We are in a better place where we can assist these countries and people would stay over there. Like, we have all these problems with fucking China. Why not take manufacturing from there and put it in Central America, put it in Mexico, put it in South
I
America?
fully agree with that.
Then I'm not the biggest economics person, but I'm pretty sure it's fucking cheaper, probably more expensive to get that shit up and running, but cheaper to get a boat or some trucks going from even South America rather than fucking China all the way over here. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just my take on it. We'll leave it on as the government needs
I
to
agree.
manage money better.
We'll just say we agree that the government and the media sucks.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah, I'm with that. Fuck them. Fuck them all, boys.
We'll go to a more entertaining one on this one. I experience this quite a bit. It's loudmouth people talking on the phones in public for everyone to hear. Yeah, you know, the ones that
I hate that shit.
hold their phone like this and they got its speaker on so everybody can hear their conversation. I hate that so much. I just want to ram it down their throats. There's no need for that, especially got earbuds. You can just talk. I mean, what are your guys' reaction to dealing with people like that?
I'm fortunate that I'm not in public that much to see it, but when I do see it, it just irritates me. It's like, why the fuck, motherfucker, like, why are you like out there with just your phone on your face, like walking around CVS yelling at somebody? Who cares? Like, I don't want to hear that shit. Fuck off.
I grew up with the notion of your phone conversations, no matter what it's about, genuinely should be treated as a private matter, right? Like, we had one phone in the house when I was growing up, and you had to take that thing and go like hide in the bathroom with it. Even to this day, my dad will get a phone call and he'll go and he'll run off somewhere and he's just hiding. So to me, even that is not to go hide as much. It's just to, nobody needs to hear what your business. And a lot of people do that because they want you to hear what they want you to think they're important. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And it's just fucking
right there.
And I'm like, I just don't care about what your plans are. I don't need to care what restaurant you're going to or fucking all that horse shit. It's the same people that go take pictures of their meals and then send it to their friends, I don't need to see a picture of what you're eating while listening to you on speakerphone, fuckface.
Right. You always get that too. You go to, I don't know what it is. It's always those people that, like you said, they want the attention. And it's like it's like a private conversation. You might want to go outside. We don't need to hear about this guy's an asshole or so and so screwed you over or whatever. It's like, that's always got me since the beginning of cell phones. People that did that shit. So
the thing now that I notice a lot more is it's not even just the cell phones. It's people that they're using the Bluetooth in their car the right way, so they're hands-free, except holy shit, I'm in my truck with the windows up, V8 humming, and I can hear every word in the Tesla next to me because they've got the volume up so loud. Same difference, right? I'm like, it's the same thing. I coach baseball, and there's a lot of parents that show up in the parking lot, and there'll be 4 or 5 cars out in that parking lot, and I mean, echo chamber of a phone call. And again, it's, I'm off to Japan for this. I got to meet. And you're like, cool, man. Really, you could just, like you said, just put it up your ear. You're not driving down the freeway. You're sitting in a parking lot. Again, that doesn't bother me as much as people being assholes on it, like in a restaurant or something, but still.
Right. Public areas, public areas are the fucking worst, where they walk around like that. Just like, just put it to your fucking ear. Put it to your ear.
How stupid does this look, too? How stupid?
Exactly.
I see it in the grocery store. They're just walking around like, motherfucker. Like, I don't give a, like, fuck off. I'm about to grab that shit and be like, okay, I can't talk anymore. Fuck off.
Yeah. Well, you made a good point there, Shane. No, I'm glad you added to that. So I hate the fucking person that's not only on the speakerphone doing this shit, but they're in line at the grocery store, not even acknowledging the clerk. And they're just kind
Ah,
of, I mean, that shit, I want to smack a homie. Anybody, I'm like, it's, oh, and it's everybody. And it's just like, it's the rudest shit ever. Acknowledge the cashier, please. It's a simple transaction. We're all trying to get through this here, you know.
Hey, a little quick side tangent there. If I say hi to you walking down the street, I'm trying to be friendly, but hey, how's it going? Like, fucking acknowledge me.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess that's the thing, because I get yelled at in the Marine Corps and like in the military in general. You got to do greetings of the day and shit, like, hey, sir, morning, all that shit. You say all that shit. So it's like one of those things, a proper greeting of the day. Like, I see people now, I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Fucking
Yeah.
nothing. I'm like, fuck, man,
I
acknowledge
hate
me.
that.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
just give me
I
a
don't
high
know.
back.
I get it. Some people don't like that, but I'm like, fuck, man, I'm just trying to brighten your day, motherfucker.
Well, you're a large, red-haired fucking beast of a
I
man,
get
too.
it.
You know.
I look like I'm gonna shoot up a school or a workplace, but I'm not. I guarantee you I'm not. There's no
I was
manifestos. I ain't writing nothing.
I'm with you, and this is kind of taking a turn, but like when you do go up to the cashier, just someone in general, like my daughter had to use the bathroom last week. We're on a little vacation out up at my dad's house. I walk in, got to purchase something, use the bathroom. Fine, I'm buying some sunflower seeds. The guy just looks at me when I put the seeds on the counter like I'm an asshole. But I'm like, here, I'm getting the seeds. I go, hey, my daughter. I go, hi, how you doing? And he just looks at me, just, and I go, or not, and I just go with my, I mean, like, sorry, I asked you how you were doing, bud. He was so
like,
mad that all I bought was
damn,
the
like,
sunflower seeds to get the
yeah.
bathroom key. I could see it all. The whole transaction was written on his face. I'm like, oh, you're so mad that this is all I bought right now, so you don't want to have a back and forth. Cool.
It's like, am I offending you?
Yeah, sorry, my kid needs to pee.
Yeah, like, fuck
I could have just gone over there and waited for someone to come out.
Right.
Anyway, side tangent. Sorry,
sorry.
No, that's fine. That you could have not bought anything, so fuck them. So
exactly right. I read the sign. It was like, hey, bathrooms are for customers only. I thought, well, okay. I didn't, not even getting gas. Throw the guy a bone. The kid loves sunflower seeds. Nah, not a word. He just hands me the bathroom key. All right, cool, bro. I love you too.
Okay, our next one. This was Shane's. When a music venue posts a time for a show, but doesn't specifically say if it's for doors or the first band to go on.
I fucking hate it so much. I don't know. Maybe it's an LA thing, but I'll just keep this one quick. It's just say you see a flyer or it's a big show, like at one of these bigger venues. Even the Hollywood Palladium, that's a 4,000 capacity venue. I fucking hate it with a passion, where they'll be like 6:30, and you're like, 6:30 what? Bands, doors, and then like I get there and it's like, oh, doors were at 5:30. 6:30 was the first band. It's like, what the fuck you? I hate that shit. It's happened so many times out here where they don't specify if it's doors time, or first band or set times. Like, I'm getting over it where I get it. It's like festivals. You look for set times. But even these smaller shows that have 4 or 5 bands on there, it's like, give me the goddamn set times.
Yeah, I've always thought they should include that anyways, because for years, what the schedule is going to be when you get, it's not like 5 bands are set to play and you all get there that same day and they go, well, let's see what time you guys go on and shit. They have that shit pre-planned and stuff. And, there are 5, 6 fucking bands usually playing, and you should put doors open this time, first band goes on this time. And I don't see why you can't put a schedule. You have a band name or their logo, what time their set is, because there's a lot of people that don't want to see every band, or there's people that don't want to miss.
That's the point, right? Yeah,
exactly. Oh, I will say this. I wish I would have gone to this show, but I'm glad at the same time it was on a Sunday. So this Doom band, Paul Bear, I don't know if you guys heard of them. They're pretty cool. They were playing at a smaller venue, and they didn't. The doors, it said, were at like 7:30. They didn't let anybody in until 8:30, so doors weren't really
Oof.
at 7:30. The show ended at like 12:30, and it was on a Sunday night, and everybody's like, God damn, like fucking we gotta work tomorrow. Like, what the fuck? People were pissed.
No, yeah, I agree with you 100%. There are flyers that are fucked up like that. And personally, I think the more information you put on the stuff, it's better for people because, you know, some people don't want to see the opening bands. And then, though, there are people that do want to see the opening bands. And, a lot of times you don't get a lot of time to play if you're an opening band. So
Yeah, you get like
you only
five,
get to,
6 songs max.
yeah. So if you don't know they're going on between, say, 7 and 7:20, you're going to miss them.
Hmm.
So, yeah, no, I agree 100%. Schedule should be definitely more put out there on flyers and stuff.
I mean, it's hard because you got to think, for me, it's different because I work nights. So I
Mhm.
have to take time off work to go to a show during the week. But most people who get off during the week, let's say the general time you're going to get off work is between 5 and 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Say a show starts at 7 p.m. uh if that's doors, most of the time it's that's the first band. So you're saying doors are always an hour beforehand, so that's 6 p.m. You got people rushing to get there, like everybody that I know, most people have to take days off during the week to go to a fucking show, even if you
Right.
work a day shift job, just because you want to get there, to not rush to see the first band. It just sucks.
Yeah. And,
I don't know.
one thing with schedules too, being playing in a band, I like the whole schedule thing because if you're seeing, this band and everybody has the time frame, you have your set time, your breakdown, take your shit off stage for set up for the next band. You don't go by those schedules, things get all fucked up. So when you get a band that's a dickhead and goes, I think I'll play 2 extra songs, you know,
Yeah.
then the crowd will be like, hey, fuck you, get off stage, you fucking you know what I mean?
Or you have those local bands that, like, motherfucker thinks he's Neil Peart and he has this entire fucking drum set, and you're like, dude, really? Like, just use the house set, brother. You didn't need to bring all that shit.
Right.
Like, I've seen that where it's just like, really, it's gonna take you fucking 20 minutes to
Yeah.
tear down? Like, use
You're
the
already
house
calculating it
gear,
out.
motherfuckers.
You're like, I
I've
shouldn't,
seen
as a fan, have to
that.
calculate this out to figure out what my night's gonna be.
I've seen it. I've had buddies play shows. I've seen all this shit. I've heard both sides, and I'm just like, God damn. Like, it just, I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
Having
sucks.
had far less experience with this than you guys, but I'll only say this: is that like a venue thing? You think, to get people in the door
It,
by kind of not giving people information
it's both.
to,
I've seen
to
it
pack the
where
house to get their bottom
I've s-
line?
there's some venues down here that are on it that are really good, and then there's some venues that aren't good, and then there's venues that are good, but the promoters of that show are terrible. It's a mix of things, It
Yeah, it
just
seems like.
it's never going to be consistent. Um, so yeah.
let's go to the next one. This is, I don't know if you guys go to many, conventions or such, but I like to hit the horror conventions, and it's the overpriced autographs at horror conventions. Um, I understand you're an actor or what have you, and you're trying to sell some merchandise and make a little, but some of the amounts they charge for an autograph is pretty freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, I've been to LA Comic Con out here. That's like the only convention I've been to, but there's a lot of horror movie guys there and everything. And then my buddies who do go to, like, I had a buddy who went to San Diego Comic Con this past week. It's like, oh my God, why do I need to pay $50 for your autograph? That makes no sense.
Mm.
Or to take a fucking picture with you. Like,
$50.
come on. No, that's straight up
It's
how it is.
instantly not worth
I
that, though, right?
I was at the LA Comic Con, and there was a bunch of people there from like prominent shows and everything. The minimum was like $35 just for an autograph. And I'm
Jeez.
like, God damn. I have vinyls on the wall where I met bands after the show, like they just sign it for me. I'm like, oh sweet, I'm like, fuck, dude, thanks. Like one band I never asked for anything from was my fucking one of my favorite bands, Corrosion and Conformity. Pepper, the lead singer and their guitarist,
Love that band.
fucking
Yes.
they're
Great
they're
band.
so they're so fucking nice. Where my buddy, he likes getting pictures with bands, so I had to take a picture with them. I don't give a fuck about taking pictures with people. But like I was taking his picture, and then like Pepper was just like, "Hey, I had an I Hate God shirt on." He's like, "Come over here, Mister I Hate God," and like they signed my vinyl, and they're like, "Let's take a picture." I'm like, "All right, cool, dude, thanks." But
They're just one of the dudes, man, which is
uh,
nice, you know?
to your point, Vincent, it does suck when you're trying to genuinely like meet people that you love their work and admired their work, and they're trying to charge this exuberant price where you're like, this makes no fucking sense.
Right. And it's going to be limited. I mean, because especially when you have quite a few people at these conventions that you're probably going to want to meet and get their autograph.
Yeah.
And throughout the years, I've seen it be different. It's like, usually you're buying an 8x10 to get signed unless you have some merch you want signed. So there they got that sale. Then they want to get you with the photo, extra if you're going to get that. And, in the beginning of these conventions, before they got really super big, I remember meeting Gunnar Hansen, fucking sitting, taking a photo with him, having signed some stuff. I bought an 8x10. He signed it. Hardly charged me anything. Had a conversation with him for like 25 minutes about, his writing books and stuff. I took a picture with him. It didn't turn out. He goes, "Oh, just take another one." That was cool. And then, you meet other people that are total dicks and like penny pinching. And like, it's like, dude, why you just like almost losing the fan just because you're such a douchebag about stuff. And, like I said, I understand they do these things to make some money, but if you brought back the prices, you're selling merchandise, you're going to get more people getting, wanting your signature instead of like, well, I got enough for 3, autographs this convention while there's like 100 people there to see,
Yeah.
that's just been my pet peeve since I've seen conventions turning into, I
It's
don't
a
know.
merchandising swap meet now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And let's
Yeah.
face it, it used to be all these conventions where us weird people that liked horror a lot and or sci-fi and stuff. And there wasn't a lot of us. And it's become like a trend now where they pack
Mhm.
the places now. And, just like anything, make some money at this.
Right.
Greed takes over.
It's just
To
definitely,
me, you
yeah.
always get more respect for me if you have enough integrity to realize to not milk your fan base for every penny that they have. Like you just said, Vincent, it's like, how about the guy that doesn't have the job where he's making a good amount every year, and he can only afford, let's say he's got 150, he or she has $150 for the day, for the day or for the whole convention. You're screwed. Two autographs, you're done. You know what I mean? And I don't get to go to a lot. I know it's coming because my daughter's starting to she wants to go to VidCons and all this and Comic Con. So I know it's coming for me. So I'll be going. But yeah, I'm not paying those exorbitant prices.
I mean, it doesn't help that horror, just as a genre, horror sci-fi has been at the bottom of the barrel for what like actors make. But
Yes.
True.
I get that, you know, but it just seems to me where you're trying to exploit us as fans at that point, where it's like we would probably buy more of your shit if you just like
Lowered it.
talk to us, or like not even like
Yeah.
like charged us to sign shit. Like I've had bands where like I'd buy a vinyl, they sign something for me, and like I'll buy something else. I'm like, dude, that was fucking cool. You talk to me for like 15 minutes, I'll buy something else, dude. You know, like I love supporting the things I love. You know, I will support actors, I will support artists, the shit I believe in. But when you start charging me like $30 for a picture, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I got, I'm just saying, like, that's stupid as
You're
fuck.
just not that special,
And,
man.
no, and
Right.
waiting in line for like an hour and a half to get
Oh,
there.
so you've already
I
wasted time.
I
too,
don't do
yeah.
that. Like
No.
when I went to Comic-Con out here and I was like, fuck this. I'm not waiting. And I don't give a fuck about any of these people. I don't even take shit with bands, you know? I don't care. I'd rather talk to a band and like I talk to the members and bullshit with them rather than get a fucking picture. I'd rather say thank you for making great music and just bullshit with them instead of like
Yeah.
fanboying out like the Beatles or some shit. Like, oh my God, I need a picture.
Well, one thing about those, like even though when The Walking Dead came out, I've watched it throughout the years. I like some of the stuff. I've watched all the seasons. It's something different, to watch. But when it first came out, that was the downfall of conventions because all of a sudden, all the ones that I remember at the conventions, you'd see all your metal buddies and stuff, and you'd go to the hotel and be partying and stuff like that. And then it became all these kids just lining up to get Daryl's autograph. And God, it made that place just packed to go to stuff.
I will say the
It's
comics.
fucking total record ski. You're like, oh, no. It's
will
such
say-
a good show, too.
I will say I hated the show because I read all the comics and I'm that kind of
Oh, well,
nerd.
yeah, that's an unfair advantage.
Where I'm the hardcore nerd where I have the entire run on comics.
Right.
I like the comics a lot better. Kirkman, he did another quick side tangent. He did input on the show, but he wanted it completely different than the comics. Fine, understandable. But the comics are way better. The show sucks.
Right on. Well, I can appreciate that.
I stopped watching after
Not
the
gonna
third
disagree.
season. I stopped watching after the third season. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, it got to be. And again, it's like it was just it's something to watch that's not your typical
Right.
crap that's always on it. At least it has some horror to it. But yeah, after this first couple seasons, it just started to be kind of ridiculous, but it was entertaining to me still. But
I don't think they were writing that with a story arc in mind.
right. Right.
Like I said, they were just going off of completely different from the comics just because, and I think there were some themes that they couldn't touch on because the comics are pretty fucking brutal and there's some things you can't put on TV. So you're like, oh.
That was like on A&E or something too, wasn't that? Or what was that on? I can't even remember.
AMC.
AMC, yeah.
AMC.
A&E. Oh, the hell.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm just let's go to this one. Just think I saw this, I thought it was fucking hilarious. This was Trevor's
Oh God.
Limp Biscuit and Nickelback.
I just did research on this again last night to make sure I was fully up to date on those tool bags.
Oh, yeah, I always look at it this way. It's whatever people like, they like. I don't really care. But personally, those are definitely two of the band I don't ever want to hear.
Dude, I'll get down to some biscuit. Fuck, what are you guys talking about?
You can't even laugh. It makes you laugh
Man.
just saying the words Limp Biscuit and Nickelback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dimebag Daryl loved fucking Nickelback. He did a song with them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
You didn't know that? He really did a
No.
song with them. Yeah.
Hey, the Krogers were cool for a minute. You know what I mean? Everybody was on the Kroger train.
I
I
know?
will say I am not a Nickelback fan, but I
No,
can't
because
say
you have
I will
ears that
never
work.
say I will never say I wish I wrote that music. I will say, I wish I was Jack Troker. I'm like, fuck you, motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah, he is a multi-millionaire.
Photograph. You know, like, I don't know. I'll get down on that with some Creed too. Come on, we should have lipped.
Oh.
You should have looped Creed into this too. Like, come on, they're on
I
the
could, man. There was a
tour.
list. There was a long list, but those were the top
Can
two.
you take me
POD, come
higher? Like, come on. I wish I wrote that shit. Like, you motherfuckers wish you wrote that shit too. Come on. I'd be playing, I'd be playing the Super Bowl, flying through the fucking sky. Like, I'd be me. I'm like, hell yeah. You know?
Hey, they're doing a reunion. I heard that Creed.
Yeah.
Oh, are they really? Wait, are they gonna do a cruise
yeah.
like everyone does now? They got a cruise ship.
They just finished their cruise. Trust me, I'm on the Creed. I'm on the Creed
You're
news
down
order, man. I'm down with the Creed, dude.
I was talking to a guy at work because we were just like laughing about like, was it Creed, Pearl Jam, and Rob Zombie? Because I said there should be a drinking game for all those bands. Like every time you hear, yeah, because it's like,
yeah,
the amount of times they say yeah in their songs is fucking amazing.
Hey, the Yaz are onto something, Vincent. I'm just saying, look. Here's some future writing tips. On the next album, throw like 6 more Yaz in there. You're gonna see those sales go up, man. I'm just saying.
Like, wide open.
Wide open. You know?
Oh, dude. Growing up in the foothills, like Sacramento radio, that shit, I was like, barf bag every day. This is what we're playing.
Trevor was running through his hair is flowing through the wind. He was just like, arms wide open.
No, that was like, I did it all for the nookie on that one. That was good, bro.
Right?
I'm gonna confess something. The real reason I hate Limp Bizkit so much is that I can honestly say that I have never had a pit like theirs with Asheron or my other bands as they've had. I don't like the band, but hey, man, you got it. They got some crazy ass crowds and shit. And
they do get some crazy ass crowds. But even last night, I was watching some of the YouTube videos of them doing their, what is it, Lollapalooza 2024.
Yeah.
You got Fred Durst in his like old school 90s tracksuit, you know. And what, you know, I'm not gonna hate too much on Wes Borland, but it's basic.
Hey, he's a great guitarist though.
He's a great guitar player, but Limp Bizkit is basic bitch music. But dude, the crowd is like, yeah, and I mean it's real young people, and I'm like, how do you even know of this? But I mean, I think the one that Lollapalooza was, it was somewhere overseas. It wasn't here in America somewhere. Because to me, I was like, it'd be hard to. I would love to see, like, seriously, go back to politics for a second. Crowd size, right? Of like when they're in like Puerto Rico doing Lollapalooza or wherever it is, as opposed to like in like Atlanta, you know, or somewhere.
Well, I will just say Central America, Puerto Rico, like I don't know what is Latin America. They're like way more into this shit than we are.
Yeah, this was somewhere like that, and I was like, wow, and they were singing it. I mean, I was dying loud. I had tears going down my face watching Fred Durst. He just, you could tell he's living it. He's like, I am so fucking cool still, and you're like, not really, bro. But okay.
I mean, I will say so. My buddy went to MI out here. It's a music institute in Hollywood, and he's good friends with the keyboardist in the band Necrogoblicon, and they were on tour with Limp Bizkit. And I met him, Aaron, cool dude. I met him multiple times. We hung out, talked to him, and he was like telling me, he's like, dude, yeah, like when they were on that tour in Europe with Limp Bizkit, he's like Fred Durst would like before each show, you'd like do this weird shit where you go up to a mirror and like fucking like yeah, and like start praying
like
or something.
A lot.
But they were like, he wasn't a dick. Like he was kind of weird, but they had a good time.
He started that music label and like propped up a couple of other shitty bands.
Yeah. And then he started beef with bands that didn't want to sign to his label. I forget which band it was. It was pretty fun. But anyway, you like what you like. I ain't into that shit either.
Like Nickelback and Limp Bizkit, you just can't ride in my truck to work with me.
I ain't into that shit. Look, like I said, I ain't into that shit, but I wish I wrote it. So.
Oh, dude, I've run. I was telling Paul Kreutz, man, we ran a guy off a job site for like a Nickelback one time, man, because he just didn't. He was swearing to us how metal it was. And we're like, dude, first of all, that shit is not metal. Don't even say that to us. And I'm to the point where he stopped working with us like a week later. He's like, I just can't handle it. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Now we were a little younger then, and a little bit more less open-minded. I was probably your age, Shane, when we were doing that shit. It's like, get out of here. What do you mean you like nickel? Because I think he tried to put it in the CD player at work on the job, and we were like, no way, homeboy. You better, you don't touch our radio. Fucking, you know what I mean? We're journeyman carpenters here. You're just an apprentice. You don't touch our radio. Anyway, sorry.
As much as a lot of people don't like these bands, and man, if you think about everybody you've talked to who don't like these bands, they still fill up a damn place.
They will, you know it.
And
like I said, I wish I wrote that shit.
And
it's easy to hate, but yeah, envy is also a part of that.
I mean, I'll be the first to say, being around the 80s for the underground metal, for punk, stuff that like even the 90s when the death metal came in, you didn't see pits like these fucking backwards baseball hat wearing fucking pimp Limp Biscuit.
You can say flat brims, I won't be offended.
It's like, okay, man, it's a violent, pits. It's like I never got that. I'm like going, how come there's not more brutal shit with the brutal fucking stuff, And
right.
Because we're all fat. If you haven't noticed,
it doesn't make sense.
The vast majority of fucking death metal fans are fat. I am fat. I can go to the pit for like very little time now as opposed to when I was younger. And I don't want to spill my $20 fucking beer, okay?
Hey,
like we're fat and lazy now. I'm sweating just listening to the fucking lyric, like the riffs. I'm like, oh fuck, man,
Death over Bakersfield.
This music's making me tired. Like I ain't even in the pit, and I'm drinking. I'm tired.
Well, you gotta watch though, because you got those ones doing the spin kicks and the karate kicks and the
I fucking love hardcore so much, but I fucking hate karate kicks. Like I will. Quick side tangent here. We'll make it real quick. I got to see I really enjoy this band Turnstile. I got to see them before they blew up. Saw them in a small fucking venue, and it was fucking great, right? Everybody fucking karate kicking everywhere. My buddy had to pull me back because I got so fucking mad. I was like, just watching the goddamn show, motherfucker kicks me in the head. I was like, you what the fuck? And he was like, nope. Come on.
And to kick you in the head, that's way up there. Shane is tall, people.
These motherfuckers, like, I will tell you, like, I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do or in their black belts or what. Like, these motherfuckers, some of them are fucking kick. Like, they do all the spin shit. It pisses me off. I love hardcore, but I hate that shit so much.
Did you guys catch Barry's Go to Memphis show?
No, it's on my fucking.
There were some spin kicks in that sucker. This lady's walking by and she totally catches one to the head. I even commented to Barry. I'm like, damn, even that lady got in there, man.
Yeah,
I hate that shit.
I guess though, when you see, bands like that get a shitload of people there and they all do it at the same time, it just looks more.
Yeah. It looks brutal when 1,000 people are in the pit.
Yeah,
300, I should say.
What the fuck is this? Like,
well, even going back to the Barry's live, the Go to Memphis live show last weekend, he even said to me, he's like, dude, a couple of times I was like, hey, my wife's out there, bro. You better like mellow out, right. You can have fun, but keep it under control, Yeah, I've never been into the slam, punching, kicking, push each other around in a circle. That's cool, I'm only 5'8", so I usually find a guy like Shane or Vincent to follow into the pit, and then I just kind of get their shrapnel.
like the pit's always about getting your aggression out in a positive way, all together. Rough each other up, fuck each other up.
Put a smile on your face.
Somebody falls down, you pick them up. But that kind of shit is just so stupid to me. But then you had the to go to the more extreme side. Even when I talked to my dad, and he was like, "God damn, going back to shows like fucking like seeing Exodus back in the day and shit." That was like, "You're gonna die. You better be fucking like you're on fucking guard, you know." Like those are crazy pits, like fucking just brawls and shit, you know. That's cool, but me, I'm like, nah, I'm good for that shit. Back in the day, yeah, I've been to some backyard shows that were like that, but now I'm like,
I remember I had
I'm not going near it now.
I had a VHS tape back in the day of that band Repulsion from Michigan, and they playing this small show, but they had like this pit, and I remember it just got spinning, and this big dude just throws up an arm and clipped this dude, and it's like a cartoon. It hit him on the nose, and like his legs went up in the air and just went like a cartoon down. And the guy looks down and goes like, it kept going. I was like, it's like, so I remember those days where there wasn't always that, hey man, let me pick you up. It's like,
yeah, no, just you shouldn't have fallen when I hit you, idiot. Why is your face in the way of my hand?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, you fell? Good luck.
Yeah, sorry, too bad for you. Guess you're not tough enough.
I've been in those pits too, trust me.
Okay, well, kind of segue off that one because you did bring up the bigger sizes of some of the gentlemen that go to the shows. T-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. Look. Like I said earlier, if these bands, if any bands are watching, if you haven't noticed, we're not going to fucking CrossFit gyms. We're not fucking like, I'm not listening to Pantera down, like running 10 miles. Let's just face it, gentlemen, if you're watching this, I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but we're on the bigger size, and I don't know what the fuck it's been lately, but when I go to shows and I need a fat fuck size of a 2X or maybe sometimes a 3, because some of these shirts do not fit, they're fucking sold out immediately. You got mediums and fucking smalls left. And I'm like, look at this crowd. How many children out here? You got children's sizes. There's fucking grown ass men here. There are not even women. Like I could count the amount of women on one hand at this death metal show. Give me my fat fuck size shirt, please.
Now, being in music, I can kind of answer that question to some degree.
I know they're expensive because I've talked to so many bands, and I always ask them like, why don't you got fat sizes, please?
When I was in Asheron, it never ceased to amaze me when we go out, we get those people like you saying, hey man, where's the bigger sizes? And like, we got too many small sizes. And believe me, nowadays, the larges are probably all I'll go anymore. And mediums and smalls are not even worth getting pretty much. But back in the day, you got a variety. So you do the little tour, you'd sell some shirts, you get the people saying, hey, get the bigger shirts. So the next tour comes and you get the bigger shirts. And where are you, motherfuckers?
Like, where are the fat fucks now? Y'all lost weight.
Why am I stuck with like half a dozen 4XL shirts now?
Hey, okay, so I get that. But I will say, like, I went to one of my favorite festivals that sucks it's not around anymore, Psycho Las Vegas. I fucking went every year. I loved it. And one year Down was playing. And they didn't, I asked them and they were like, oh, we don't even have XL shirts. I'm like, fuck you tell me Down is not care. Like, this is fat fuck music and there's no fat sizes here. There's nothing XL. They're like, yeah, we didn't bring any. I was like, look at this line. Look, I told the lady, I was real nice about it. I said, look behind you. These motherfuckers are about to go get some pizza after this. That motherfucker's stoned out of his mind. We are fat. There's no fat sizes. God damn. They found me 1XL, and they're like, oh, if you wash it and you can like flip it out and you can stretch it out. And I'm like, fine, I'll get it.
Stretch it out.
I guess it's either this or it's a conspiracy. All you motherfuckers are trying to get us to lose weight.
Well, I will give it.
That's what it is.
It seems like it.
The double X is a bigger seller these days, but the only problem is with getting a bunch. It's like a couple bucks more a shirt,
Yeah.
and even going big. We've had people asking for 4XL and stuff, and it is more money, and some people
it goes way up. Yeah, especially if it's double-sided.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get people going, well, why is it that much more than the regular shirts? That's what you get charged.
A lot more. Yeah, it's a lot more fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand exactly what you're saying, but
like I got no problem paying more. Like, just give me my fat size. Or motherfuckers better be selling some carrots so I can eat some healthy snacks so I can lose weight.
Like selling those at the venue.
Yeah, so I can lose weight.
They can sell those with the small shirts to the kids that are there.
You better be selling me a fucking here's your 30-day gym pass. Go lose some weight so you can buy a fucking shirt. Here's your small fucking shirt because that's all we got.
Start all the karate people can start doing the CrossFit before the show.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. Like a Richard Simmons thing. All right, everybody, spin fists.
That man's a national treasure. Rest in peace, Richard.
This is the Creed Power Hour spin kick session.
Yeah.
Oh, wide open.
Yeah. Make sure you emphasize your yeah.
Okay, Joe, we're getting close to that time, so
sure.
Let me pick
one lots of tide tangents. Sorry about that.
That's fine, man.
Fun.
Let's go off the cuff on this one. It's I had to deal with this earlier this week. The DMV or the BMV, whatever your specific area calls it, Department of Motor Vehicles.
Oh, yours is the Bureau of Motor Vehicles out there in Ohio?
Yep. It's the
That
BMV.
sounds cooler.
It's the Bureau.
The Bureau. I know it sounds like more.
Sounds more official.
It sounds fancier.
It sounds like they would care more. Do they?
It does sound like at the Bureau they would care more because department. It sounds like man.
Department.
It's just a bummer already.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. It's just like always packed. It's always you gotta sign in, wait for your text to come through. You got 50 people in front of you, and it's always the smelliest people there. I don't know if it's like, hey, I gotta run and get my license or something. I don't need to shower, or it's just right up there. But yeah, I had to get some paperwork done for my car, and I went to the BMV, and I had to go to a title place, and I was like going, title place wasn't as bad, but the BMV was just, God, it was like so many people, and none of them seemed to know what the hell they're there for, ever. So
it's almost like a pass you on to the next person department.
Yeah. It's like, I need to get my license, I think. What do you mean you think? Why'd you come here if you think?
You got a piece of paper in your hand that says why you're here, right?
I will say this. I'm part of the AAA, the Automobile Club. So it's like I go there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so much easier. I just
Way
go
easier.
there. That's why I bypassed a lot of the DMV shit.
Well, you can go get your tags there at least.
Yeah, I could go get my tags there. I could do title stuff there. It's way easier. So yeah, fuck the DMV. Primus didn't write a song about it for nothing. But
I forgot about that.
I agree. I had to go there to get my new license because we had to get one of those new the federal licenses or whatever.
Real ID.
Yeah, and like that shit sucked. I was there forever. But I do realize if you're going to go to the DMV, tip for everybody at home. Go there fucking right when it opens. Just you gotta camp the fuck out and just get that shit over with. Just line up at 4 a.m. You fucking in and out. You'll be in and out.
In my experience, I actually don't even go to the DMV in my own city. I found when I was working down the South Bay, I go to this little one in Los Gatos, and I just make it. And here's the other secret, people: make an appointment if you can.
Yeah, okay? It does help. Does help.
Every time I've had an appointment for stuff like that, it's always worked out. But yeah, going to Vincent's point, there's always so much confusion at the DMV among the patrons of the DMV and the employees. And usually it's the patrons that end up pissing off the employees that makes the whole process, a bit of a slog anyhow, right?
No, but you're absolutely right about this. I go to the smaller towns that have it, but you still have those people. I mean, last time I went to the one in the city, oh my God, it was like you're going to camp out there for a while.
Yeah. I like going to the small ones too. Those are in and out. Like I went to the one down by me. It's in San Pedro. It's like a small, real small, like very small building, like less than maybe 300 people could be in there. I was in and out in 10, 15 minutes. It was great. I didn't even have to line up or anything. When you go to the small town ones, like you guys said. So tips for everybody at home. Find something outside your town. Or your AAA.
If available. True statement. True statement.
And talking about the federal license, that's another problem too, because you need all this information and documentation to get that.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times people walk up, go, I need this. And they're like, do you have this? No. Step in the back of the line. You have to go get it. And it just like, get your information before you go to the damn place.
I've been reluctant what to bring. I brought everything and it was like real easy. You bring everything.
Yeah. Well, that is half the battle.
Yeah. Well,
part of the people at the DMV, again, it's some of the patrons aren't there with a full conscious level-headed not working with the sharpest knives in the drawer aren't always the people patronizing.
I mean the full thing is you gotta read instructions.
Thank you. And the DMV does not make that easy a lot. There is a lot of red tape and bullshit.
Absolutely not. But I'm just saying sometimes you gotta dig for yourself. You can't just
read beyond the first paragraph.
Yeah. Anyway, DMV sucks.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys being on the show today, and it was good getting back into the groove of things. A month off has been kind of weird, and had a good time. Appreciate you showing up and bringing these things to the table. Before we go, start with Trevor again. Want to tell people how to get to your station and stuff?
Hey, Vincent, first of all, it's a pleasure to have met you, and thanks again. It's an honor and a privilege to have been on the show. What gets your goat? You can just see me, Shredbeard696 on YouTube. I like to shout out my buddy Paul Kreutz. He got me into you. He got me into Acheron. I'm still blazing that trail down the Acheron, beyond Acheron, and your new stuff, Amityville's Hordes, people. So go get that. Go get Kai Hawaiian Death Metal out there. And that's all I have to say. Thank you, Vincent.
No problem, man. Thanks for being on. Go ahead, Shane.
I will say, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Vincent, thank you for having me on. And I will say to everybody at home, please, I did not sleep tonight. Please continue to expand your horizons and listen to Limp Bizkit, listen to some Nickelback, smoke crack while you buy some Creed, and you will have a great time. I will say there's nothing greater in life than just smoking crack and listening to some Creed.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, man. Thank you. It's been a good time.
Whack is whack.
Yeah, right. It's what time is it? My time right now. Like fucking almost 9 in the morning. I'm drinking beer. Cheers.
There you go. Okay, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I will put links to these gentlemen's channel on the description. Hopefully we'll get some more under the belt. Things are getting back to normal again. And until next time, stay brutal.